Good morning, guys. I'm just about to head to the office for another workday, and today I thought that on the channel I could teach you guys 5 things that I've learned about editing YouTube videos from working with my brother, Matti Haapoja. But before we head to the office, I think we're gonna go for a quick skate since we just got new rollerblades, and what better way to start the workday than some nice physical activity at the skate park. Back when we were kids, this would be fun. Now this just scares me. Oh gosh, how fun would it be when we were young? Now, not so much. This looks scary.
This is intimidating.
Young people these days. Pyrotechnics.
Do you guys have a bucket for water?
Where's your bucket for water? What if a fire starts? We're just kidding. Oh man, that was a good session. It feels good to be back on the rollerblades, but at the same time scary and so tiring. I've never realized how much muscles you need to rollerblade. Either I'm out of shape or my muscles just aren't prepared to rollerblade. But that was a good session. Time to head to the office and get to work. Do just what you want. Ooh, best way to start a work day. This is one habit or thing I shouldn't have learned from working with my brother Matti Haapoja. Drinking Red Bulls, they are so delicious, but it's so bad for you. Guys, I think I'm gonna have a problem. I think I'm addicted. It's the sugar, the caffeine. Seriously, this stuff gets really addicting. I warn you right now, don't start drinking Red Bull because once you start, you don't wanna stop. Okay, I admit that over the past 3 months, I have definitely developed some bad habits, but at the same time, working for my brother Matti, I have learned a ton of great things when it comes to editing and YouTube content creation. And that's why in today's video, I thought I would share with you guys 5 tips about editing and YouTube content creation that I've learned over the past 3 months working with my brother Matti Haapoja. Tip number 1 when it comes to editing and YouTube content creation, learn to use the keyboard shortcuts. Now I know for a lot of you guys and for myself personally, a lot of times learning keyboard shortcuts or learning new ways of editing can be daunting. We're so set in our ways when it comes to editing. We have bad old habits, but when you take the time to set up your keyboard shortcuts and you learn good habits when it comes to editing, those little bad habits that take a few seconds here and there can actually end up costing you hours in the long run. And when I've been editing for my brother Matti, having keyboard shortcuts has sped up the editing game so much, which in turn has saved us so many hours over time because we're constantly editing and putting out new videos for you guys to enjoy on our YouTube channel. So for myself, a few buttons that I love using. I first love using the Q and W button. Q will just cut the front end of the clip and W will cut then the back end of a clip. That way I can easily just trim the front and back of a clip because a lot of times I'm cutting through talking shots, so I need to cut out the beginning where there's mess ups or when you're starting and then the end. Then if I need to make a quick little cut, for example, if I'm editing through a talking shot and then there's a little mistake, I cut and then I use the Q or W to take out the before and after, and I'm using X for that. So I got X, Q, and W. And there's so many other keyboard shortcuts that you can explore. I tend to use only really these 2, 3, 4 keyboard shortcuts, but those keyboard shortcuts alone just saves me so much time in the editing process because I don't need to do all these extra clips and moving. I can just keep using those 3 buttons, Q, W, X, pretty much the whole time just to cut through the footage quickly. So I know it can be daunting and overwhelming to learn keyboard shortcuts or to set them up, but once you set them up and you get used to them, it's gonna save you so much time in the long run. So don't play the short game, play the long game. You know, it might take you a day or two to get used to those keyboard shortcuts, and you might be, you know, fumbling around a little bit with the keyboard, but once you set it up and you get used to it, it's gonna help you so much in the editing process. Tip number 2 on how to become a better editor is finding great music. Now, if you're a YouTube content creator, you're an editor, it's really important you don't rush through this step. It's important that you take the time to find the right music for your project because that can often really make or break it. The music is often what really brings out the emotion, the feel of the project. And if you just rush through that and you find a mediocre song, well, oftentimes your project is gonna turn out to be quite mediocre. Now, if I'm brutally honest, there's been moments where I've been in a rush, there's been a tight deadline, and I've just been in a quick rush trying to find a song, and I've chosen a mediocre song. And I've edited to it, and I've showed it to my brother, and often the response will be, it's a little bit flat, or it just doesn't have that oomph to it. And I've known right now that I chose a crappy song. Now, the problem is often as editors, we're in a rush. So in that moment, we can just be like, oh, I don't have time to really sit down and find the right music. So what I like to do is instead of trying to find a new song every single time I'm starting a new project, I like to spend an afternoon or a day just finding the right music for future projects. Now, you might be wondering, how can you find music for future projects that you don't even know are gonna happen? Well, especially when it comes to YouTube content creation, you often have a few different styles or themes of music that you need in your videos. So I like to categorize them in talking head shots. So these are more chill, ambient style music that I can have when a person's talking. The second is more epic, good vibe songs for B-roll sections. So these are gonna be more pump you up songs that you wanna use in your videos. And lastly, I like to have just kind of a chill vibes folder with music that I can just use for fun vlogs. It might not go behind the talking head shots, but it can just go for vlogging scenes. But having these 3 folders, it means that I always have songs ready when we're gonna start a new project. So I don't have to go in that moment in a rush trying to find the right song, whereas I already have, you know, a curated collection of my favorite songs, and from that collection, I can choose 1 or 2 songs. Now, a lot of you guys who are starting editing and you're starting your own YouTube channels, you're probably wondering, where do you find licensed music? Because guys, you can't just steal music from artists. You need to pay for the music you're using. Especially if you wanna have AdSense on your videos, you're gonna need licensed music. I personally love using Epidemic Sound. And Epidemic Sound is actually the sponsor of this episode, and they're gonna be a long-term partner of my channel this year, which is awesome because I personally love Epidemic Sound. I've been using them already before this sponsored video for years, and I love the music that you can find on their site. Currently, some of my favorite artists on Epidemic Sound are Oi, AGST, Fajian, Yamodi. I probably butchered all your guys' names. I'm so sorry, but I love the songs coming out from those artists, and those are just to name a few. There's a whole bunch of other artists on Epidemic Sound that are great to use for your YouTube videos and other projects you're working on. But on top of the music, they also have a huge sound effects library, which is really awesome because whenever you're editing, you know, a B-roll sequence, you're filming in slow motion, there's no audio. So you wanna be able to make that B-roll sequence come alive by adding, you know, an ambient forest sound. All of a sudden you could add crunching leaves if someone's walking through a forest with leaves. You know, whatever sound effects you can think of that fits that scene, you should use for your projects. So if you've never heard of Epidemic Sound before, or you haven't tried them out yet, I'll make sure to link them below in my description. And with that link, you'll get a 30-day free trial, so you can just take Epidemic Sound out for a rip and see if it serves you and your needs when it comes to YouTube content creation and editing. I believe currently the price is only $15 a month, so if you find that after the 30-day trial you really love Epidemic Sound and their services, $15 is definitely not gonna break the bank. I think it's a little bit more when it comes to the commercial services, but still very affordable when you're doing full-time editing work. All right, so tip number 3 on how to become a better editor and YouTube content creator is find the right tools for you. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's so easy to get stuck in what everyone else is using. And for example, myself, I've been filming with the Canon R5 and using Adobe Premiere because Adobe's just what everyone uses. It's what everyone's got to edit with. And I was struggling with it so much. The Canon R5 footage, awful to edit. especially with Premiere, it was so skippy, so laggy, so glitchy. I was to the point where I was just like pulling out my hair. I'm probably gonna go bald because of it, but it just wasn't working for me. But that's what everyone else was using, or so I thought, you know? I thought everyone's shooting with Canon R5, or everyone's still editing on Adobe Premiere. But the other day, my brother Matti and I were just like, that's it, I'm fed up. We are not gonna edit with Adobe Premiere anymore, and we're gonna switch over to Final Cut Pro X. And it has honestly been a dream editing with Final Cut Pro X. And this is not even an ad for them. I'm just telling you from my own experiences. Of course, in the beginning, there was that 1 to 2 day transition period where you're fumbling around, you're trying to figure everything out. But literally after 1 or 2 days, I already got the hang of Final Cut Pro X. And I've been able to edit through YouTube videos so much quicker than ever before. And there's no lagging, no glitching, no crashes. The program is really fast and really reliable. And that's what I mean when it comes to finding the right tools. You know, we can often think in our mind that these certain tools are the tools that we have to use, but really it's figuring out what works for you. Depending on what kind of projects you're working on, maybe if you're a filmmaker who needs really heavy color grading, maybe you'll use DaVinci Resolve. Maybe if you're a graphic designer or a motion designer, After Effects, Photoshop, those will be for you. But for myself as a YouTube content creator, as an editor, Final Cut Pro X has been the program that's best served us in this season. So if you want to become a better editor, a better YouTube content creator, make sure you find the tools that work best for you. Not for everyone else, for you. Because you're the one ultimately who's using them on a daily basis. And if you're like me, you probably don't want to be pulling out your hair, stressing out when you're editing for someone using Premiere and it's constantly glitching. You want to use a program that's fast and reliable. All right, tip number 4 on how to become a better editor and YouTube content creator is change it up. For a lot of people who are creating YouTube videos, they're easily 5, 10, 15, 20-minute videos, which is a long time for someone to concentrate and to be engaged. And with simple tricks and simple changes, you can make your video a lot more entertaining. I don't know if you just realized when I said change it up, all of a sudden I dropped the music down, and something as simple as, you know, cutting the music in and out throughout your videos, which is often something that I do with my brother Matti when we're editing his videos, that kind of re-engages the viewer again. Oh, you know, something happened, something changed. Rather than just having the same song monotonously playing in the background, you know, change it up. Cut the song here and there. Change the song. Something that I really personally love doing is having kind of theme songs. So certain songs when it's ambient talking headshots, certain songs that's kind of triggering that, okay, now it's gonna be an epic B-roll sequence. That already is allowing the viewer to get ready in his mind, like, oh, things are changing up, the song changed, and now it's a new segment. Another thing you can do is just change up the angle. This is my 4th point. I haven't changed the angle so far. It can probably get a little bit boring seeing me talking in this same thing. So why not just, you know, change it up and, you know, take the camera off and, you know, maybe change spots all of a sudden talking here. You know, do your next point from a different angle, a different spot in your studio or wherever you are, which automatically re-engages your audience. I personally made this mistake so often back in the day. You know, I would film videos on my channel, standing at my desk, talking for a really long time, maybe throwing a little bit of B-roll on top to try to make it more engaging and more entertaining. But really, if we're honest, it was boring. And something I'm trying to challenge myself is don't get lazy, change things up, change the view, change the, you know, the angle or the style of filming just to make it more entertaining. So simple things, simple tips and tricks can help you change it up and make your videos more entertaining. And the last point, notice I changed my angle again, trying to practice my previous point, but point number 5 is cut the crap. A lot of times when we're editing videos and we film footage, we can feel this pressure or need to include all the footage or all the stuff that we filmed. But the truth is, you don't have to include everything. The truth is, there's gonna be a lot of crap that you actually don't need to add into your video. And I think that one test is that when you've edited your video and you watch through it, if at any point you start getting bored or the energy just kind of starts dropping, I would just go and cut that crap out. And I know that sounds really harsh, but in the end, if you as the creator aren't interested or excited to watch it, then your viewers aren't going to be excited either. So it's really important that you go and cut off the fat when it comes to creating your videos. Often when I'm editing for my brother Matti, I don't cut too much of the stuff out because I want to give the option for him to be able to decide what to cut out. But easily a video could be, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then when Matti goes through a second time and cuts the crap out, all of a sudden it ends up being 15 minutes. So oftentimes there's a lot of extra footage in there. And if you find that personally for you, it's hard to know what should be cut out, what shouldn't be cut out, maybe ask a friend, ask your wife, ask your spouse, ask them to watch the video and say, like, honestly, was there a point in the video that felt a little bit boring or the energy was dropping? And most likely, they'll tell you the honest truth and you'll know that, okay, I should cut that section out. So tip number 5 on how to become a better editor and YouTube content creator is cut the crap out of your videos. That sounds a little bit harsh, but hopefully you take it with love. All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed these 5 tips on how to edit and become a better YouTube content creator. Once again, for those of you guys who haven't yet tried out Epidemic Sound, and if you want to take it out for a spin, just click the link in my description. You'll get a 30-day free trial. It won't cost you a thing. And if you find that you enjoy it, you can start with a low price of $15 a month, which is not a lot for great music. All right, guys, I think I've taken up too much of Matti's time here at the office. I should probably get back to work and do more productive things. But wait a minute. Making videos for you guys is very productive and it's great. I love making content for you. Oh man, I don't know what I should do. I know I should go back to work, but I love you guys. I love making content for you. Okay, guys, adios. Have a great day. Enjoy. Hopefully I put a smile on your face and hopefully this video helped you guys all out. I'm out of here. Okay, just one more for the road. I swear I don't have a Red Bull problem. Just one more.
Do just what you want.